Hey guys, welcome to a new video. This is Steph West. I'm an LPC here in the state of Michigan, and I want to talk about something that it might seem counterintuitive to say that independence can actually be a detriment to us. But I want to mention that hyper-independence really can be an indication of where we are at in our health journey. So one of the things that was interesting, and honestly it's heartbreaking, but I understand it so well because I've been there too. One of the things is last evening I had a woman in her 20s spending some time with me, and we've been together a couple, about a month at this point, and she's sobbing, and the entire time she's crying, she's saying, "I'm so sorry I'm crying, I'm so sorry I'm crying," and as she's leaving, she's saying, "I'm so sorry I'm crying, that's not something I should be doing in here." And I said to her, if you can't do it here, where else can you do it where there's no judgment? This is a great place to practice that skill of crying and of having emotions. You're in a safe context. Now we would have to juxtapose what's going on in the rest of her world where it doesn't feel safe to even have things like crying happen because it demonstrates weakness. And hyper-independence can sell us that lie that I'm supposed to have it all together all the time. I'm not supposed to need help. I'm supposed to be radically in charge and have ownership of everything. And while those are strengths, hyper-independence is an issue. Usually it means that there's disconnection going on where I can't trust someone to come alongside of me and help me without maybe I owe them, or without guilt or shame, or without some sort of, passive aggressiveness. And sometimes it's true. Sometimes it also might mean we're asking the wrong people. And sometimes it might also be cognitive distortions that are running, telling us that we have to be super independent. And so I don't tell this next story with much mirth except to kind of giggle at my former self, because man, she was a fighter. I still am a fighter. But when I had a lot of my kind of hyper independence running, I just look at myself with a little bit of mirth and a little bit of reverence, because that's where I was at, but I know I needed to grow through it. So this last February, I was driving during a blizzard to get here to the office, and I hopped a curb and ended up kind of marring my tire. Well, over the course of the next 15 miles, the tire was not only marred, but it blew out, and I, maybe kept driving past, when I should have. And as I pulled into the office here, my entire tire had blown out at that point. And so what happened was I was able to call up a tow service and say, "Hey, I don't know how to change a tire. Is this something you can help me with?" And they're like, "Well, we can't be there for 4 or 5 hours because it's this blizzard and we're trying to help everyone. But if you can, hang tight for 4 or 5 hours, we can come help you with that." Here's the thing. If they couldn't help me, I did not have a backup plan. I would not have called friends. I would not have called family. I would not have called anyone to help me. And I was committed to sleeping here in the office and then figuring it out the next day if I needed to. That's a problem. I have people in my life that love me. I have people in my life that would voluntarily show up for me. My boss said to me, he said, "Steph, you wouldn't have called me?" And I was like, "Nope, that wouldn't have been a thing." And he said, "I drive a 3/4 ton, that's what it is, a 3/4 ton pickup. I could drive through anything and you wouldn't have called me." I was like, nope, that would have put you at risk. I wouldn't have done that. And that's where he kind of indicated that that's not what real friendship is. Real friendship isn't, I only call you when it's not inconvenient for you or when you're not in some sort of, you have other priorities. Real friendship is when you call someone up and say, "Hey, I need some support here." And so I'm going through it with another client where right now she doesn't have much of an infrastructure built where even if she needs to vent or call someone because she's having a hard time, she won't do it. And I said to her, "Hey, here's what I know. In my 14 months post-divorce, before I really worked on connection, I recalled that I did not call a single person to say, 'Hey, I'm in over my head right now. I can't do this. Can we talk?' Now, I had my therapist. I had my own kind of ways of processing through stuff. But hyper-independence is not something that is to our benefit. Connection is to our benefit. And if you can't connect, if you can't emote, if you can't tell people that you need help or that you're struggling, I encourage you to get some intervention. I have been able to sit in several therapy offices over the last year and have rampant healing happens. And part of the reason I know healing is happening is because I will voluntarily reach out and say to people, "Hey, is this something you can help me with?" And it might seem counterintuitive. It might seem codependent, or it might seem like we are exploiting people and their generosity. But interdependence is a part of life. Other people want to come alongside of us. And if you're not able to accept help, if you're not able to invite others in to be a part of your story, we have some work to do. I don't say that with judgment. I say that with radical awareness of where I was and where I am now and what it feels like to be connected. It's unparalleled. So if you don't know what that is, let's talk. Let's figure out what does it look like to re-engage life, but also to reconnect with people, and where it's okay to, show up and say, I don't have all the answers and I need some help. And maybe right now I'm having a hard time. So you might see some of my, bad, sad, scaries, or some of my ugly as I sit here and cry, or as I sit here and have big emotions and reactions. That's okay. We can do that. That's what connection involves.